Welcome aboard, passengers. Man, this has been a long time. We've not done one of these for quite a while. There I am dropping something already. How are we doing? Hopefully we are well. This is the latest news article for Train Sim World 2 Rush Hour. And it's all about Northeast Corridor, NEC Boston to Providence. Now, because it's been a while, I'm going to do this video. And then I'm going to go back and do the Dresden, and I'm going to do the Brighton Main Line. Because I want to look at it. I've not looked at these news articles. I'm not going to go back and do road maps and all of that. I'm going to just stick to the rush hour stuff. I'm going to try and do them over today, maybe the next couple of days, depending on how much time I've got. But that's what we're doing. So, today we're talking to the development team on the Northeast Corridor. Joined by Tom Waters. You alright, Tom? He's the lead vehicle artist. And Matt Pedalston, yes, the senior producer of Train Sim World. And also Brandon Phelan, who has been helping to create Northeast Corridor. So, what is their involvement? So, Brandon, Dovetail Games, he is contracted for hire. Dovetail will come to him asking if there's things that they want part of, and he will usually say, yeah. And it's been a good experience for him. So, the creation of this route was the only involvement he's had on Rush Hour. So something he started on his own back in 2019 when Matt actually got me involved with testing a new project for Train Sim World 2020. So wow, NEC, that particular route has been going on for 2 years now. Wow, that's pretty cool to know. So when he created this route, he never anticipated it would ever leave his computer. So yeah, 2 years. You've been playing around with it, laying the track, and then it's been sitting there for a while. I get what you mean. So he was then deployed with his job. And whilst he was away, he took his laptop with him and kept on working on the project in his spare time. And by the time he came back, he had done the track, terrain, signals, 24-hour service mode timetable, along with some other small things. That's a really interesting thing. I like that. Well, I say I like that. 2 years he's been working on it, and we're finally getting it. So I'm looking forward to this NEC. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, because it's rush hour with the more passengers and things like that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Anyway, let's continue Mundo. Matt, he's been about the broad spec of rush hour and everything that's involved. Felt it was important to get NEC back in the game, and working with Brandon had already done with Boston and Providence wasn't an opportunity he wanted to miss. It was sat with him that Brandon had created this amazing track plan and the working timetable, and Matt thought, how can we do something with that and bring it out to the people? Then they realised rush hour, it fit very nicely because they'd been working on it, spoke to Brandon and arranged to bring it across and give us this route. So the way it'd been built is very different to how Dovetail would have created it themselves in terms of how it accesses the assets. So they've been recently focusing on solving those problems. So I'm guessing it's because it's like a third party like Rivet and things like that there are some differences. So they're trying to bring it into a Dovetail route. So they've made some changes to that route as well, and worked on some parts of the routes that weren't quite finished. So his work has been doing something similar with the timetable, rejigging it as they create the MBTA F40PH3 Charlie and the Amtrak ACS64 and get them actually into the game and updating the timetable to use those bits of stock. So he currently has all the Amtrak services operational and now started to get the MBTA parts operational too. It's all lighting up pretty quickly now thanks to all the hard work that Brandon had put into the start. So what gives this route the rush hour feel? So Brandon says it's definitely the operations around Boston South Station. The other part of the line is usually busy, but it's not as nearly as busy until you get right around to Boston. And then you throw all the Amtrak trains on top of that, and then you have a lot of traffic at peak times. Well, Matt says that there's a lot of services running in and out of Boston South. So what will create that notion of rush hour is it's similar to the Dresden route, where you'll be following trains until you get near Dresden, and then it's a fight into the busy station. Okay, so hopefully when I look back at the Dresden news article, I'll understand what you meant by that. So the last couple of stops will be the worst ones, because it's where the density of services escalates massively as all the other lines converge. And that's what you will get coming into Boston South Station. Brandon said it's not uncommon to be waiting at a signal for up to 5 minutes or waiting for trains to move through Tower 1 in and out of the station. It's congested for sure and fits that rush hour thing. So there is a priority, and Amtrak have that priority. So as a player, you won't typically come across too many stop signals if you are operating an Amtrak consist. So what's it been like bringing Amtrak back into the game? Well, Tom said, it's great to see representation of Amtrak back in the game. They're the largest passenger operator in the United States, and their absence has certainly been felt. Well, you can see that on the forums. Everyone is wanting USA passenger services. We don't want freight, we want passenger. So they have a great relationship with Amtrak, so it's great that they're able to get back into the game so players can drive that again. And they were very forthcoming with providing them with guidance on how the locomotives work. Anything they can provide them to make sure they get it spot on. And they are as passionate about Amtrak as we are about train, or they are about trains. Sorry, I'm reading the news article. It's a good match merging both passions. So, MBTA. Thomas said Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority are a regional passenger operator in the Boston area, and they have a very striking livery colour. This is a new partnership in a new area, so they haven't done MBTA stuff for any of the other products before, so it's all brand spanking new. So how did you gather all the information you require for this route? Well, Tom said that MBTA have been very cooperative and keen to work with them, and actually asked if they could be in the game through Twitter, and that's how the relationship started. Wow, so they actually asked to be in the game. They couldn't go out and take pictures like we knew we would, so thankfully Gary Dozal, yes, we've heard of him before, Gary, he was prepared to help and do it on our behalf. So they arranged for a resource survey, and that's been fantastic. It's taken a lot of the guesswork out and helped them to capture the details they wouldn't necessarily know to look for. So the rolling stock that this comes with is the F40PH 3C. MBTA have an ongoing rebuild program of those trains, which is a modernisation plan to keep them running for a good number of years more. And the F40PH 3Cs, I missed that. It was the 2Cs that they are refurbing, but the 3Cs are the more modern locos that they are including. They're also including some of their single-level coaches along with the cab car, so it would be quite a different driving experience depending on which end you are at. Interesting. So, this is a good bit. What do you find exciting about this route? Well, Brandon said that this section is really unique, that it features the highest speeds of the entire corridor. Although the player won't be able to operate the fastest train on this route. Okay. Thanks, Brandon. Maybe soon. That doesn't mean that they will not experience high speeds. The ACS64 has the capability to actually reach its maximum operating speed on this route, which is the first time you'll be able to experience this. You are able to hit speeds of 125 miles an hour for sustained periods over the course of several miles. So roughly 80% of the route is 100 miles an hour or more for this train. So the speeds and the variety in the scenery are also exciting. One moment you're in a suburban area surrounded by trees. The next you'll be in a diving down a 1% grade at 110 miles an hour into a trench below street level that's surrounded by concrete. All things considered, it's really cool to see all of that in this package. Well, Thomas said that he's keen to see the reaction to more American passenger content. Yes, we want to see that. They've done Amtrak and Caltrain in the past. Traditionally, there's not much variety in the US, as there is in UK and Europe, true. But it's great to have Amtrak back in the game and bring us something completely new with MBTA. Matt has said that he likes the fact that it's got the variety of operators. You've got MBTA, you've got Amtrak, different stopping patterns on the route. It's just a different feel. You've got very different trains to drive. MBTA, diesel electric, Amtrak, overhead. You've got the brand new coaches, the cab car, the single deck coaches. It's new and it's exciting. And as what echoing what Brandon said, the changing scenery is great because the last bit of the route is essentially where you are going from the countryside to the big city. And you get that entire transition from being out in the fields to diving into those trenches among the local lines and dense traffic. One of the things that Matt is fascinated by is south of Boston South Station. It's Southampton Street Yard. And there is a big balloon loop in the yard. Now we have that with NEC Corridor, don't we? The Northeast Corridor on Transit World 2020. So I'd like to see that. When looking at this route to start, we noticed Amtrak trains didn't run with cab cars north of New York Penn. They only used cab cars south of New York Penn. So the question was, how do you turn a train around? So they have a locomotive at one end and there's nothing but buffer stops at Boston Station. So how do they get the locomotive the other way around? So normally in the UK, you would do a loco swap. Well, when you look at the processes and procedures for Amtrak, loco swaps are actually time consuming because of all the retesting of brake lines you've got to do to make any changes to the brakes. So what they actually do is reverse the train out of Boston, south into the yard, around this giant loop, then reverse it back into the station again, which now has the loco on the correct side again. That's really unique, and it'll be there for the players to do. It's something that Matt is really looking forward to seeing in the game. And also, he loves the colour of the MBTA train. So, that was the news article. And you know, MBTA, pink. Anyway, Train Sim World 2 Rush Hour is coming this summer. As we know, this is a DLC to add on to Train Sim World 2 with 3 routes: Dresden, Brighton, and NEC Boston. So we are looking forward to seeing that. As you know, there will be changes where we will get proper access and optimization for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, as well as PC. So we will be doing videos on how that looks. Remember, we've got a PS4, we've got an Xbox One S, we've got a PS5, Xbox Series X, and a PC. We're going to be looking at all of them and seeing how it looks. Thank you very much for watching this video. That was the news article. It is in the description below. I will try and do the other ones. Depends how long I've got. But that's what we're going to be doing. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos from the Mega Sim. I will see you in the next video. This is Mega Sim out of here. Bye.